Out Loud, and I'm back live and direct outside of the courthouse at 500 Peel Street in New York. All right, I spoke with you guys. Oh, I think I just stepped in gum. All right, I spoke with you guys at lunchtime about what happened with Jane. I think it was her third day of testimony. I have good news. She actually wrapped up tomorrow. We're going to get the cross examination from Diddy's side. Like I told you guys earlier, go check out on the live section. I told you guys what happened from the morning to lunch. I'm gonna finish up now, and then tonight we're gonna record and put in a normal video side a whole complete wrap up of the day, okay? So this is live. Like I said earlier today, this is my second time doing this. So give me a second, I have to go through my notes. I might be a little disorganized, but I will get it dope tonight, all right? So at lunch, I told you guys that the prosecution played us video recordings, audio recordings of them speaking on the phone, Diddy and Jane. It's windy here. I want to make sure that my thing doesn't fall over. What's up, y'all? What up, what up, what up? I'm not waiting for everybody to come in. I'm just starting because, you know, when people watch it later, you want to waste all this minute. So what's up to everybody? It's my first hi. I'm going back to my notes. Okay, so there was audio recording of a phone call. And when we heard it at lunch, he said, yo, are you recording me? And she's like, no, I'm not recording. So a lot of us that were in the courtroom, we thought that it was the feds actually recording Diddy. It comes to find out that everybody is speculating that it was KK, one of Diddy's assistants, and he just had Jane on the phone asking her a couple of things so that he can have this recording to feel safe. But we don't have a confirmation yet. So I said earlier that the feds may have tapped his phone, but we're not 100% sure. That is not confirmed, okay? Now, that was to wrap up lunch. Now I'm gonna tell you the rest of the day. We're gonna talk to you about her asking Diddy for more money, then a very, very important trip to Vegas, and then arguably what may have been the biggest part of her testimony was what happened June 18th, 2024 with Jane and Diddy, all right? And then I'll let you guys know what I think the prosecution is up to. All right, what up, bro? All right, man. Okay, so let me start out with here, the money, okay? So for those of you who missed it at lunch, basically her testimony is Diddy and her keep on going back and forth. They have this relationship where they're talking and they're hanging out with each other. Everything is good, and it's a very, very toxic relationship. They get into arguments and, you know, a lot of back and forth. So this is starting with them not in a good place, okay? On one of the text messages, Diddy says, all right, listen, seeing that you're so unhappy, if you would like for me to make this over, just give me a number and you could just go on your way. This is after years of them having going back and forth, okay? Freak offs, back and forth. Now, the prosecution asks, did you ever sue Diddy or have you ever planned to sue him civilly? She says no, but they bring up a text message where Jane asked Diddy for $100,000 per year. She also wants money for loss of income and around $45,000 for them to split. Diddy says, if you charge me for that, then it's over. I never want to speak to you again. And then she thinks to herself, like, do I really want that money or do I really want to be with Diddy? That's what her testimony is. It's really just back and forth. And what the prosecution is trying to show is that that is just coercion. He keeps dangling the house over her head. He keeps dangling the rent over her head, and that's the thing that keeps her coming back. But we actually got to see her say to him in a text message that she wants $100,000 a year to go away and some other things. When it adds up, it's maybe like $200,000 or $300,000. So that's just not a good look for Jane, okay? So after she writes those amounts back, Diddy says to her, F you, I'm blocking you. I knew you were opportunistic. I knew you're opportunistic. Now it's clear, and I'm going to call the police on you. Jane says, you're the one who asked me to tell you how much you want for me to go away. And now that I tell you, whoa, oh my gosh, this guy's backing up. Just make sure he doesn't back up into my camera. Okay. Yeah, so then he's like, I knew, but he was trying to trick her, right? Like, hey, if you really want to end this, let me know how much you want. She gives him a price, and now he's like, yo, you're being opportunistic. But again, that's tricking her. Anyways, Diddy says, yo, F you, I'm done with you, I'm gonna block you. And then Jane says, you conned me into asking you that, and all these years of all these freak offs, and if you tell me, give you a price, I'm gonna give you a price. Jane says, listen, you're just hurting me. We should stop talking. The next day, what happens? The same thing like I told you at lunch. They take a couple of days that go by. They send a text message. Hey, I love you. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Because Jane actually sent him a message saying, listen, I can't deal with this any longer, and I'm probably going to end up hurting myself. Diddy says, I don't want you to hurt yourself, okay? So that's back and forth. Then another back and forth, Jane has this text message and says, you threatened to release the tape to my child's father. Now, because I'm at the court, I can't talk to you guys about who Jane is, but everybody online already knows who she is. They've already assumed they know who her baby's father is. But please don't put it in the chat or whatever. But she said in one of her text messages that Diddy threatened to release one of their freak-off tapes to her child's father. After Diddy threatened her to do that, and by the way, if you guys remember, that's force, fraud, or coercion, right? After Diddy threatened to release what Jane said that she was going to call KK. KK is one of Diddy's assistants. KK said, listen, don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make sure that he doesn't release any of your tapes. KK said, just give it a second. Don't do anything. Don't call the police. Don't go wild, whatever, blah, blah. I will handle it. We think KK is probably going to be testifying next or before the prosecution rests. We will see. For those of you who've been following it, you know who KK is, okay? So quickly, just to recap, because I know it's a lot. Diddy back and forth with Jane. Freak off. She wants to leave. Oh, all right, you want to leave? Just tell me how much I have to pay for you to get out my life completely. All right, give me $100,000 and give me a severance split. Give me this, give me this. Okay, fine. I knew it was all about money, back and forth, back and forth. Even one of their arguments is, if you try to leave me, I'm going to send a tape to your baby daddy, okay? That was pretty much it. Now, another part of the day, they were talking about Vegas. Now, this is where things start to get a little bit tricky, I would say, because this is when Diddy, she went to Vegas and Diddy thinks that she was with another rapper and started cheating on him. To me, this is when the relationship went downhill. It spirals out of control. And for those who didn't see the lunch hour video, for my daily followers who've been following me, you know the one thing that I've been really asking the prosecution to bring is direct evidence. Today we saw a lot of direct evidence, not in a sense of like, you know, video or anything else, but we saw a lot of her testimony came from text messages. And if, to me, that serves as a direct evidence, because the fact that it is a text message from 2 years ago, it lets me know you were feeling that way 2 years ago. Whereas some people right now think that, oh, these women were telling Diddy, we love you, we love having all these freak-offs, and now that he's locked up and now that they could go to civil suits, now they want to be like, oh, I hated all of this. No, Jane had said in 2022 that she hates the freak-offs. She doesn't like doing it, for those who missed today's episode, okay? So in these text messages now, in January 2004, listen carefully, because this is when it starts to get juicy. So they have split. They're done. They're upset. She's fighting with him about the baby daddy video, and he doesn't like her. He's upset with her of the money that she's asking. All right, we split. We're done. She goes to Vegas. She's on Instagram and she sees a rapper. We don't know who the rapper is. I'm pretty sure I already know who it is, but I don't even know. Now that I'm in court, I don't know if I'm allowed to say those things. So Jane hooks up with a rapper in Vegas, okay? She testifies, I went back to the rapper's hotel room for 20 minutes. I saw some other people in the room having sex, and she even saw one of the sex workers that her and Diddy did freak-offs with in the room with that guy, the rapper guy. The rapper guy has a bunch of people in his room. She's like, hey, I'm trying to leave this lifestyle. This is not really what I want to do. Y'all know I was with Diddy doing freak-offs. This is not what I want to do. I want to be out. Okay. The next month, she decides, just keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Vegas, rapper, she sees one of the sex workers, she leaves. She says she didn't do nothing with this rapper. She was there for 20 minutes, okay? Now, next month, February, Jane decides that she wants to start an OnlyFans. Remember, she's not with Diddy anymore. Diddy has, threatened to not pay her rent, pay her house. So she's like, yo, I got to start doing my own thing. I gotta find a way to make money. She creates an OnlyFans. She says she created an OnlyFans because she wanted to reclaim her own identity and she wanted to find herself again. Some of you out there might be thinking, putting risque pictures of yourself on OnlyFans is not reclaiming yourself. It's just really an indirect way of what you were doing with Diddy. But you have to look at her. She is trying to make money without Diddy. And she feels like the best way for her is OnlyFans. I'll leave you guys to decide how you want to look at that, okay? Now, in February, Diddy hears these little, oh, I heard she's in Vegas. I heard she's starting OnlyFans. They start talking again, February 2024, okay? It's around her birthday. He texts her for her birthday. Now, he is saying to her, hey, I kind of miss you. I know it's your birthday coming up. But she says in a text message, do you really want to celebrate my birthday or do you want to have one of your freak-offs? Remember, like I told you guys earlier, it's always back and forth. It starts out with this kind of loving relationship and then it gets over to freak-offs. And she had told him repeatedly, I'm tired of doing these freak-offs. For those of you who missed lunch hour, okay? Or tune in tonight, I'll give you a whole roundup. Eventually, Jade decides, you know what? I'll go back with him. Let's go and have a birthday party. Hopefully there'll be no freak-offs. Okay, so they meet up, they do a little DRUG, and they start having sex. Diddy asks her, hey, do you want to have a freak-off? And she's like, yo, I thought we were getting together for my birthday. This is supposed to be my birthday. We haven't seen each other in a couple of months. We're supposed to be rekindling things. Why now are you talking about freak-offs? Anyways, she ends up giving him what she wants, and the night of her birthday, they have her freak-off, okay? Things start to progress. In 2024, she meets up with him 3 more times in Miami. Oop, I want to make sure this thing doesn't blow over. So she says she met up with him in May, June, and August, okay? And there was a few more connections in in Las Vegas. I don't know where I got Italy from. So Los Angeles, did I say Las Vegas? Sorry. I told you guys, it's my first time reading my own notes. So 3 times in Miami after that one birthday and a couple more times in LA, okay? The prosecution asked, did you want to have freak-offs when you met him those 3 times in Miami and those couple of times in Los Angeles? Did you want to have freak-offs? Jane says and testifies, no, I do not want to be having those freak-offs. I wanted to get together with him. I love Diddy. This is my man. This is my partner. She calls him my lover. Again, showing in text messages, which is direct proof, I want to meet up with you to have sex with you. I want to celebrate my birthday with you. I don't want to have freak-offs, but then Diddy coerces them to get into freak-offs, which the prosecution, and this is why we're here in front of the courthouse, it's illegal, okay? When you hire sex workers. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so she's like, no, I just want to be with him. Diddy starts talking to her about the contract, their love contract. They start talking about their rent. Again, same thing like earlier. They stop talking to each other. They get talking to each other again. As soon as a couple of freak-offs come, money comes in around in the situation. And then he says, listen, I'm still paying your rent. I'm still paying for your lawyer. I'm still paying for all of your stuff. What is the problem?
This guy's from Canada.
What up, what up, what up? Yeah, I'm new. It's my first day. Hi, nice to meet you. This is my homie here. He's taking care of me out here.
We got him in.
Yeah, respect, man. Thank you. Say what's up. I say hi to your people. Say hi to my people, man.
Hold on.
What up, what up?
You know, fair exchange is never.
Yeah.
Fair exchange is never sworn. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. We're here live outside the federal courthouse where the trial of Sean Diddy Combs is ongoing, and we'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow is cross-examination of Jane Doe. You better be here.
Come on, I'm here, man.
This is the money shot. Make sure you follow me on all platforms at Hip Hop Inquirer. I'm Dennis Byron. Google my name if you're in Canada. I don't know if you got Google, but
80% of my viewers are American.
Oh, you told me that. He's 8%.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know,
We're global. It doesn't matter. We're global, man. UK, there's a bunch of people listening from South Africa.
Listen, Ike, we got some beef here. What's up those tariffs, man?
Yeah. All right, don't start. I'll see you tomorrow, man. All right, brother. Take care. Hey, it was nice meeting you, huh? I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so then they start talking about money again, okay? Sorry to be redundant, but this is what's going on. Listen to this. Starts getting juicy. One of the SEX workers, Cabal or Kalal, I don't know how to write his name. Now, she gets a call from one of the past SEX workers, Kalal, and he's like, by the way, I just want to let you know, you don't know this, listen up, here's where it gets juicy. He says, yo, at one of the freak offs, y'all know that Diddy likes to take up his phone and start recording the freak offs, right? One of the SEX workers, Cabal, says, yo, Diddy accidentally picked up my phone and recorded us. I have a recording of me and you in my phone. Jane is like, yo, why are you telling me this? He's like, yo, I want money or else I'm gonna expose you. Hold on, just wait till it gets juicy. She's like, you want $10? You want $10,000? I'm gonna call Diddy. Diddy's gonna get this for you. She calls up Diddy. Diddy doesn't do anything about it right away. Okay, just wait 1 second. Then she gets a call the next day from a major media outlet. I'm assuming it's TMZ, but who knows? Maybe it's CNN, maybe whatever. And they ask her, they say, hey, Jane, we have this tape. We're gonna assume it's from the SCX worker, Cabal, because he called her 2 days before. So it looks like she didn't give him the 10 G's, Diddy didn't do anything, so now he sold it to a media outlet, and they're asking her for a comment. She says she has no comment, and they get off of the phone with her, but this tape never comes out. It never sees the light of day. Now, think about something for a second. I just told you that her and Diddy were arguing about money. Bye, take care. Her and Diddy were arguing about money. Then I told you guys that the SEX worker that Diddy grabbed his phone and recorded a video calls her and says, hey, I have a video. I also told you guys earlier that last time they got into an argument, Diddy said, yo, I'm gonna give a video to your child's father. KK had to calm him down. This is what I think happened. No media outlet is gonna pay for a video and then just not release it. I think Diddy was upset with her, asking her for the $100,000 and asking her for money. I think Diddy paid the SEX worker to call her and say, yo, I have a video. If she asks, yo, how did you get it? Just say, oh, you accidentally took up my phone. Like we were saying in court, how do you accidentally pick up somebody else's phone? You know what your phone is, you know what your phone case looks like. Everybody has different stuff. You don't know if you have the 14, the 16 or whatever. I think Diddy put up the SEX worker to scare Jane. And then when that didn't work, he probably had somebody from a network pretend to act like they have a tape. Diddy has enough pull. This goes to showing how coercive and how he just likes to intimidate people, especially the women who he has freak-offs with. He's having the SEX worker call her and say, yo, I have a tape, and then then he has somebody from a media outlet that says, yo, I have a tape. Of course she's gonna calm down. Of course she's not gonna talk anymore. Of course she's not gonna ask for money because she doesn't want to be exposed. She doesn't want her baby daddy getting the tape. Woo! Okay, so let me make sure. Okay, so media company, Diddy's lawyer, it never got released, okay? Then they started talking quickly about the Cassie video. There was a sidebar. They actually had the jurors go out. Y'all know when Diddy had the apology video. So there's a little back and forth where one of the times when they were on good terms, Diddy showed Jane the apology video for the Cassie video, the CNN Cassie video. And I think it's just, the prosecution is really just trying to show that Diddy really wasn't super authentic. But any celebrity that's putting out an apology video is gonna do it a couple of times over. Anyway, so this was just Diddy's sent his apology video to Jane. Jane told him that he doesn't really look like he's apologetic. Jane said that I think you could do it better. Diddy told Jane during these conversations that Cassie was actually the one that used to hit him first, and the only reason why that happened on that CNN video is because he was putting hands on her because she was putting hands on him. Again, this is, I think, over a text message. So what else is here? And then, yeah, Jane just said you should redo your video and make it look more friendly, okay? So that was the Cassie video. Now we have to get to June 18th, 2024. I got 3 pages of juice. Okay. They're in LA at the house that Diddy is paying for, June 18th. They are supposed to be spending a chill time together. I'm really gonna walk you guys through this because it's good. They're supposed to be having a chill night together, okay? This is 3 or 4 back and forth now. They're like, baby, I love you. Let's stop all this fighting. Let's stop all this bickering. Forget about the media. Forget about the SEX tape getting out. Let's just get together and have a loving relationship. Diddy sends his assistant over to their house, the house that he's paying for, and they start setting up a night, and they bring candles, they bring red lights. What up, man? They bring red lights. And she's like, yo, why are you sending an assistant over here to set up? This is not supposed to be a freak off. Remember, this is supposed to be romantic. He's like, I just want it to be romantic for us, baby. Has nothing to do with freak offs. This is just for me and you. She's like, okay, I trust you. She gets very nicely dialed up in a red-brown dress. He comes over. They have dinner, they have a few drinks, and they want to point out that there's not any DRUG at this point right now. They start taking pictures like it's literally like a babe night. They show pictures, there's videos, they're very loving, it's very, very intimate. Keep in mind, if you didn't see my video at lunchtime, she is in love with Diddy. She doesn't want to do freak offs. She only wants to be loving with him. So he is giving her the night of her dreams. That's why she's taking so many pictures, taking so many videos. Imagine your girl keeps asking you like, yo, take me out to do this, take me out to do that, but you're working, you're busy. And the time you're like, yo, babe, I know you've been bugging me for the past 2 months. I'm taking you out to your favorite restaurant. This is her moment. That's why it's such a highlight, okay? So she's been waiting for this moment for like 2 years. This is her moment. It's at their house, but it's set up to be looking exclusive, okay? Diddy gets a text message on his phone. Then she asks him, yo, who is that texting you? And he's like, oh, it's nobody, don't worry about it. Listen to this. Jane feels like she knows who's texting Diddy, and Diddy was actually away on like something for like 48 hours, like whatever, I don't know if he's doing somebody's album or whatever. And she's like, yo, I think that you were with that girl, and that's the girl who was texting you. And Jane doesn't like this girl because she doesn't like the age that she is. So she says, yo, I bet you that's the girl who's texting you. And if I'm right, you are a P word, like Kendrick says to Drake. That sends Diddy off. Now remember, this is supposed to be a beautiful night between the two of them. That sends Diddy off like, yo, what? You're calling me a P word? She's like, look, and the prosecution wanted to make sure I want to make sure I don't get flagged here. The prosecution says, just want to make sure you don't actually think he's a P word. You actually don't think he's a PDF. She's like, no, she's like 20 or 21 years old. She's totally legal, but he's 50 something. I just think that it's weird. And I think that makes him P word-esque. But just to be clear, also on my video, I want it to be clear that it wasn't somebody who was not of appropriate age. She was appropriate age. But Jane, of course, is just jealous no matter who it is, but on top of it, it's somebody who is like 20 or 21 years old, and she's like, yo, if she's not legal enough to order drinks, what are you doing with her? You're a 55-year-old man, or that time maybe 52. Yo, beautiful night, and this is what, 2 or 3 hours in, this is what they're start talking about. But listen to this. Diddy doesn't put hands on her for her calling him the P word. Diddy remains calm, and he is like, I'm gonna just chill. He bends over to tie his shoe. She takes his head and hits it into the counter. That's how mad Jane gets. Diddy bends over to tie his shoe. Jane pushes his head into the counter. She starts throwing candles and glass, and she says, I hate you. I cannot believe you were with that girl. Diddy did not get injured. However, she was trying to injure him. She admitted it. She goes, I was trying to throw glass. I was trying to throw candles. The only thing that got on him was wax. Jane said after she started throwing glass and wax and he was getting a little bit burnt, that's when she felt like Diddy was going to retaliate and Diddy was going to put hands on her. She ran to the bedroom to leave away from Diddy. Diddy was like, no, you're not going to throw glass and throw wax at me and stuff. By the way, guys, sorry that that I'm not reading these, all the messages here. I love all of them. Thank you so much. Keep commenting, but I'm gonna get distracted, okay? It's my first time doing this today, all right? So I'm gonna try to read some of them after. Just FYI, keep commenting, I'll read after. But y'all know me, I'll get distracted. Okay, so Diddy is now upset because he was like, yo, you call me the P word, I'm restraining myself, I'm chill. I've been down to tie my shoe. Boom, you hit my head. You throw glass and you throw candles. And then you want to run to the bedroom. Oh, hell no. What did he do? Boom! Diddy kicks the door down. And the prosecution is like, did he kick a hole in the door? She goes, no. He kicked the door. Boom! The door down. Okay. Did he kick the door down? Then she runs out the bedroom and locks herself in the bathroom. What does Diddy do? No, I gotta do it one more time. Boom! Diddy kicks the bathroom door down, okay? She says now she runs out the bathroom. Sorry, I got a little close to the camera. She runs out the bathroom and runs into her closet. I guess, I don't know, maybe that door is a little bit stronger in the closet. While she's in the closet, the prosecution wants us to know that she changes out of her sexy dress and heels into something more comfortable. Now you gotta ask yourself, why would Jane be in the closet changing? Wanna know why? Because Jane is so afraid, she starts running out of the house, and she knows she can't run out of the house in this sexy dress and running shoes. So she's in the closet changing while Diddy is kicking doors down. It's hilarious. Well, not hilarious for her, but whatever. Anyways, so she runs into the closet and then she runs for the front door. Diddy kicks the changing room door down, and then he catches her outside. Now here's where it gets a little sad. She's alleging, and keep in mind I'm going to follow up on this later. She's alleging that Diddy kicked her from behind and was putting his hands around her throat area. This is outside. She says she was barefoot. She was running in the street, and Diddy was trying to drag her back in the house. Now, we have all seen the CNN video a million times. The prosecution is trying to paint a picture for us, the exact same picture that we have of Cassie. As I'm sitting down in there, because there's no video to this, but as she's describing what's happening, all I could see is Cassie in the hallway. So the prosecution is making you think about Cassie and making you think about Diddy putting hands on Cassie at this point. But it gets worse. 1 second. She gets away from him, his hands around her neck, and she runs 6 blocks down. Diddy can't find her. She says she finds a wall, because don't forget, she lives there. Diddy only comes there to have freak offs with her. She finds a wall and she hides behind this wall for 2 hours. After she sits down there for 2 hours, this is the middle of the night, by the way. After she hides behind the wall for 2 hours, she's like, okay, she thinks to herself, he's probably calmed down, he's probably left, he's not there anymore, let me start walking back. She starts walking back to the house. Who's there waiting outside? The diddler, of course, is waiting outside for her, okay? So Diddy is there. So she tries to run into the guest bedroom. Diddy kicks that door down. In total, I won't do another kick, Diddy kicked down 4 doors, okay? Jane, so they end up on the patio. So Jane now tries to start defending herself. Jane starts putting hands on Diddy. Head, she said his temple 2 times and his chin area. So Diddy starts putting hands back on her. She says that when she looked in the mirror, she had 3 welts on her forehead from what Diddy did to her. I have it written down here, 3 to the head, okay? So because of that, she curls up in a ball, and she's curled up in a ball trying to defend herself. And Diddy says, as he's repeatedly putting hands on her, you're trying to take my kids away from me. What are you doing? Why would you make me do this to you? Y'all could decipher who started it. She was very honest that it was tying the shoelace, hit her head. She pushed his head into the counter, but he has no marks on him, no nothing. She is a small woman, and he is a big man welting on her. You guys make that decision for yourself. Okay, now, Diddy drags her back into the house. Somehow Jane gets his phone, and guess what Jane does? I told you this was juicy. Jane calls the girl who started this whole fight and tries to say, yo, were you just with him 2 weeks ago? He's at my house. Diddy takes his phone, holds down, and they try to have some sort of conversation. Diddy hangs up the phone on her. Then he calls his assistant, okay, to tell him what is happening with Jane. And things are calming down. And the assistant is like, yo, I heard something is going on. You guys got to be careful. Jane now, because Diddy's on the phone with his because they hung up the phone with the girl. Sorry, that's confusing. Hung up the phone with the girl. Jane goes into the bathroom. Diddy talks with his assistant, and his assistant calms Diddy down, okay? While she's in there, she sees the welt on her forehead, and then she's bloody. And then Jane goes in the shower, and she's trying to wash herself off. She sees that Diddy's calm now. She feels safe. It's cool. Diddy comes into the bathroom now. He has his pants on. Sorry, there's cops. New York City. Hold on, let's wait till they pass. Hold up. Hold on. Yeah, so Diddy goes in the shower and starts putting hands on her again in the shower. She gets down in the shower, curls down, and yeah, let's not get into that. Okay, she comes out the shower and she's crying, and they try to start having a conversation to try to just like ease things down. He gets in the shower with her. They kind of like hold each other a little bit, and they're like, "Yo, baby, why did you start this? This is not the type of night that we had planned," and it's just kind of like de-escalating the situation. Keep this in the back of your mind. Already, some of you might be thinking, is this SEX trafficking, force, fraud, or coercion, or is this a crazy, psycho, toxic relationship? I don't know, but we'll get to that in a second. As they're in the shower and in the bathroom, and she's cleaning up and they're talking, Diddy starts talking to her about Antonio, which is one of the SEX workers. And then she's like, "Yo, why are you talking to me about Antonio?" He's like, "Yo, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He's close by. Do you think you maybe want to end off the night with having a little bit of fun?" And she's like, "I don't know. At this point, like, I'm not too sure." He's like, "Hold on, I got something for you." He takes out some DRUG. They both take DRUG, chill out, and what do? They call an SEX worker. This is the SEX worker that she saw in Vegas. That's why I told you the Vegas story earlier. Stick with me. I'm gonna bring this whole thing together. Whew. Diddy and Jane went into the room and started talking to Antonio. Antonio was like, "Hey, did you tell Diddy about Vegas?" Diddy's like, "What are you talking about, Vegas?" She's like, yeah, we have some common people. Oops, sorry. We have some common people, and I saw him in Vegas." And she was like, Diddy was like, "Yo, you're gonna start getting me all upset again. We just calmed down. You're talking to me about calling me a P word. Why are you talking to our SEX worker that is only supposed to be around us? How come you're seeing him in LA? Did you do something with the rapper, and did you do something with Antonio?" She's like, "No." Antonio doesn't even hear this because he goes into another room. So she's freaking out now. What does Diddy do? Gives her another DRUG. Diddy asks her, "Yo, I want to stop arguing with this. Antonio's here. I want you to go outside and do something with him with your mouth." And she's like, "Yo, I don't want to do that." And Diddy asked her, this is verbatim, Diddy asked her, "If I make you do this, is this coercion?" Diddy said, "I don't want to ruin your night, but I don't want this to be coercion." And she said she felt obligated because he was putting hands on her for the whole night, that she went out and performed with her mouth on Antonio. And she said that she was crying. She said she didn't want to do it. And the prosecution asked how long it lasted, and it lasted until Antonio finished. Antonio felt like they were arguing, and he decided to leave. Diddy and her ended the night having more of an argument. Antonio left. And this took us all the way until the morning of June 19th. Diddy's assistant comes around, I don't know the time, let's say like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, is like, "Yo, I told you shouldn't stay here." He brings $10,000 or $12,000, gives it to Jane, and was like, "Jane, here's $10,000 or $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000. Make sure you pay Antonio, so he's good. Make sure you fix the doors, and here's a little extra for you." Jane says she called Antonio, who is the SEX worker, and sent him $4,000 in an Uber. She took pictures of the Uber license plate and sent it to him. The prosecution asked, "Well, what did you do with the rest of the $6,000? She's like, "Yo, I didn't even change the doors. I was broke. I needed money, so I didn't do anything." Now here is where I want to take a little pause and talk to you guys about something. A few days later, they started showing, okay, So what I said earlier, sorry, this bus. What I was saying to you guys earlier about direct evidence, where I was super impressed at before in the morning till lunch that everything that she was saying was from a text message or from the notes in her phone. Go back and watch today's live episode. But this afternoon testimony, everything I just read to you guys from her testimony about the house, there's no direct evidence. The prosecution showed pictures of the doors broken, and they showed pictures of her eye being bruised, but how do we know that that's from Diddy? Those pictures are 3 or 4 weeks after, no, sorry, 2 to 3 weeks after. There's some pictures from like July the 1st or July the 2nd. So what I'm saying is I believe that happened at the house. Please don't get me mistaken. I believe that happened, and I believe he kicked down the doors, but there's no direct proof. There's no video, there's no text, and this is what I find a little hard to believe. Stay with me here. I just told you in the whole morning for 2 years, she was texting him everything bad that was happening. I don't like that you have me doing freak offs. I don't like this. I don't like this. I feel like I'm in a dark place. She was very vocal with Diddy about all the things that Diddy was coercing her to do. She said it in text message, which was great. How come, if this happened at the house, how come there was no text message about what happened at the house? This is what I'm questioning. And I keep telling you guys, all they need to do is have the somebody in the jury to have a reasonable doubt. And this is my first day in a courtroom, I have a reasonable doubt to think, if you just showed me 2 years of a text messages of every time there's something bad, there's a text message, how come there's not a text message about that night? How come? Not one, yo, you were crazy, you were putting hands on me, yo, you made me do that to Antonio. There is just no direct evidence of that. I just hate that the prosecution, whenever it comes to big things, they have no direct evidence. It really made me upset. I was so excited to see a text message of this, but there was none, so I was a little disappointed. Anyways, it gets worse, people. A few days later, they see each other, they text each other, hey, I miss you, and they get together again. This is the 4th time today I've told you about a major incident that happens to them, and they keep on getting back together. So just to summarize, a bunch of back and forth. There was a few weeks that they text each other. They went to Miami. They saw each other the next morning. They called an SEX worker. This is just showing the fact that she kept on having freak offs with him. She claims that she didn't want to, but even after that house incident, they still saw each other. They still had more freak offs. She said Diddy gave her a spray bottle with DRUG, and she had the best SEX she's ever had. They continued to have more freak offs. The last time that she was actually supposed to see Diddy was actually the day that he got arrested. She's like, how come you didn't go see him? It was like, so I turned on the news and I heard that he got arrested. Jane testified, listen to this, people. Jane testified, I got 5 more minutes, stick with me, I know it's a little long. Jane testified, listen to this, I got the juice. Jane testified that she got a subpoena to speak with the prosecution. She was subpoenaed to speak with the federal government. But she also said that she has met and talked with Diddy's defense team. She has met and spoken with Diddy's defense team multiple times and spoke with the prosecution. Earlier today, I told you guys, Jane does not want to be on this stand. Jane is so conflicted. I feel so bad for her. When she's testifying, it's not like she's testifying to bring Diddy down. Like I told you, 90% of her testimony is literally the government seizing her phone and going through text messages and say, read this text message, read this text message. Imagine if I took your phone and I made you read your text messages to, I don't know, your girl or your ex-girl or your parents or whatever. Like, she doesn't want to be there, but she was subpoenaed. So what that tells me is that she was kind of on Diddy's side, and I told you guys, Diddy's paying for her present lawyer right now. The lawyer that is in the courtroom with her, Diddy's paying for it. Diddy's still paying for her house. So this testimony, I think, could have been way worse if she had not met with Diddy's defense team. I'm sure Diddy's defense team, the same way how the prosecution preps them for their testimony, I'm sure the defense, Diddy's lawyers prepped her for this defense, for her testimony today. She just had no choice but to testify on the things that were on her phone. Still a great witness, but I've never seen a dual witness like this. Really crazy, and I cannot wait for cross-examination. I feel like they probably, when they spoke in their preparation, I think they probably set stuff up for cross-examination. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Super crazy. Jane is in therapy. She's been in therapy since June 18th. She said that she's looking out for herself right now. And she said now that she is in therapy, she decided herself that she does not want to work and talk with the defense anymore. So how the prosecution is making it sound is she's always been conflicted, like we've been telling you for the past 2 or 3 years, back and forth, fighting, back and forth. He's putting hands on me, da da da. Now she is in therapy. Diddy is still paying for her bills, but the first kind of inclination that she's getting over the hole that Diddy has is she is no longer talking to Diddy's defense team. I think that it's probably them setting it up and maybe telling her to say that, but who knows? Let's not be conspiracy theorists here. The point is that the prosecution is trying to make her look like she's coming up from under Diddy's hold. Okay, they asked her one more time before they rested. They said, "Do you want to sue Diddy?" She said no. She said, "Do you plan to sue Diddy civilly?" She said no. She said, "What do you want for Diddy?" And she stopped and she cried a little. She goes, "I just want peace for him." A lot of people feel like Jane is still very in love with Diddy. I'll leave it up for you guys to decide. One thing that I want to end off with, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more tonight. This was my first day here, as most of you know. And like I told you, reason why I wanted to come to this court is you get things differently when you see it. You body language, the people, than just reading stuff off of Twitter. Let me tell you guys something. This prosecution team of 6 white women, and I'm gonna get a little culture here, so just nobody take offense to this. These 6 white women that are prosecuting Diddy are culturally clueless white women. That's how they look to me, just by their hairstyles, how they're dressed. Diddy's defense team, that is Brian Steele, who was just working with Young Thug. There's Nicole Westmoreland, who's a black woman. Mark Garagos. Like, I was having lunch right beside them. Like, I'm with these people now. Like, I'm beside them. You know what you get a feel? You can just look at somebody and know how culturally innate they are or clueless. And when I say culturally, I'm talking about hip hop culture. I'm talking about understanding Diddy's world. These 6 white women prosecutors don't understand hip hop culture. And now I'm not making an excuse because there's a lot of bad things about hip hop culture, but what I'm saying to and what I'm trying to get to is this. From what I'm seeing today, seeing those women there and how they are speaking to Jane in the courtroom and the things that they are reading back that they decide to pull out is things that maybe you and I in the entertainment world, in the hip hop world, would not necessarily highlight. It seems to me like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, how many of you out there, women out there, know somebody, a girlfriend, that's in love with a guy who, he's not the best guy in the world. He treats your homegirl like ish, but he's not a criminal. You understand? But he just treats her like ish. He's a player, he has multiple girls, and she keeps running back to him. That's the feeling I got from Jane. I can't say if that's the feeling that I would have had with anybody else because I wasn't in a courtroom. But today, being in a courtroom, I feel like Jane is like the girl who we all know, or a girl like we all know, who's in love with a guy who's a player, and she keeps going back to him to say, yo, I'm leaving you. And he's like, yo, baby, come on, baby. What's up, man? You know you're the only one for me. No, you want to go with that 20-year-old girl. No, you want to be with this girl. You want to be in Miami with this girl. You want to go with this girl. You're talking to Gina. You're talking to Young Miami. And every time she tries to leave Diddy plays her. He's a player. And I think that the prosecution got a hold of everybody's cell phone who they were able to get. And when they're seeing these messages, they're not reading it like how me and you would read it, of Diddy being a player. And they look at it like it's coercion. But maybe it is. Like I'm saying, maybe we are too caught up in our own culture and making excuses for guys being players and this or whatever. So, but and then you mix in the DRUG and I don't know. That's why everybody's saying, yo, this is just a guy putting hands on his girl that have a toxic relationship, which that we all know somebody is doing it too. But is that illegal? If anything here I told you today, I've been talking for 45 minutes. Do you see anything today that was sex trafficking, forced fraud, or coercion? Or does it seem like an a-hole who has a lot of money, who has a lot of girls, who has a lot of power at his disposal, and this girl is either loves the money, loves the lifestyle, or maybe even just really, really loves him. I think Jade maybe actually really, she's so soft-spoken. She's so, like, when you hear her talking about him, I really think she actually really loves him. Of course she likes the money too, but I think she actually really loves him. And Diddy just kept on playing her. I don't even think she feels like she was SCX trafficked with forced fraud or coercion. Cassie maybe, but I'm not too sure if Jane is. Anyways, think about that culture thing. Think about the prosecution reading something from our culture and not understanding it, because I see it all the time. I have a mix of different group of people, just even people in my family, of like, yo, I'm not gonna name names, I wanna name my family, but I have somebody in my family that's like, yo, I don't understand why she's always cooking for him, why she's always cleaning for him, why she's always doing this, like, why doesn't he do that? But yo, sometimes in a Jamaican culture, it is like that. And sometimes in a West Indian culture, it is like that. But maybe in a Canadian culture, it's different. And in a Canadian culture, it's like, yo, I'm gonna cook dinner one day, you cook dinner the other day. But when cultures are different and they don't understand, they feel like, yo, that woman is dumb and she's just there to be at this guy's beck and call. And I think that is what is happening with the 6 white women prosecution team. And mixed up with the fact that Diddy is a psycho, then you could maybe think that it could be SCX trafficking and RICO and all that stuff. Anyways, that is my summary of the first day. Yes, we all know. Oh, let me get to some of the comments. Yes, Stockholm Syndrome, we all know about that. I'm so happy this trial is going on. The men are crazy. No, I was not saying anything about, I never said about putting hands on a woman is culture. What I was saying about culture is the playing aspect. The playing aspect of, that's why I'm so happy I'm looking at this, these comments. Not at all. Putting hands, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about a girl that is in love with a guy who's a player. That's all I'm talking about. Because the putting hands, over the 3 years, he only put hands on her that one time, June 18th. She's never said that he put hands on her before. But I told you guys, for 2 or 3 years, she kept on leaving him and going back, leaving him and going back. And that is what I'm attributing to our culture of, hip hop. Come on, Big Pun. What's Big Pun's song? Playa. I can't remember. Anyways, how many songs do we have about, especially back in the days? So I just feel like that's Diddy. He's still, although he's 55 years old, I don't even know why he's still doing that. But yeah, Diddy, for 2 years prior to putting hands on her, Diddy was playing her. And that's what Diddy was doing to all these girls. He was playing with them, yo, da-da-da. Instead of just being like, yo, I'm in an open relationship, I just want to have SEX with you, he made them feel like he was this lover boy and he was so in love with them. But then he goes on podcasts and then he talks and he goes on trips and then he goes on red carpets and then he has Cassie, then he has Young Miami, then he has this, then he has that girl at home and he comes back and he's like, yo, I love you, baby. That's what Diddy is. Diddy is a big ass player. That's just what he is, man. Good to see you keeping your word by going to court. They're trying to prove BWS that I'm seeing. Oh, okay, let me see if there's anything else. Somebody said wrong. This guy is full of it. I'm out. This is horrific. Great analogy from your perspective. All right. It's legal. Oh my gosh. Charles going to submit a crazy flare. Okay, I'm just checking this whole player thing. I'm glad I saw that and corrected that. All right, okay, I think I got everything. All right, y'all, tune in tonight for the full podcast episode. I won't do a full like this, but I'll do a summary, all right? We'll talk to y'all later.